What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. There you go. Before trivia yells at me for not being on Do Not Disturb. Got that fixed. Okay, hope you're having a great start to your Friday. As always, Facebook, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. YouTube, subscribe to the Matt Moscone YouTube channel, please, and smash that like button. All right, let's delve into it. Odell picks the Rams. That part's unexpected. The fact that he picked someone other than the Saints, not terribly unexpected. But I did not think it would be the Rams. If he wanted targets, that ain't going to change in LA with Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. Cam's back in Carolina. Saints do play Carolina week 17. That will be fascinating to see how the Cam redo goes in Carolina, and when Sam Darnold's healthy, if he resumes his role as starting quarterback. Of course, LSU's getting set for Arkansas this weekend, and down two more starters on the offensive line. No Ed Ingram, no Chasen Hines. Hines done for the season. Anyway. So tough ask for LSU this weekend. Missing now even more players to try to beat Arkansas. But you got to get this one this weekend. All right, let's say some good mornings. Kirk Taylor, Lawrence Burley, Jeremy Causey, Dustin Johnson, Kelly Presley, Chuck Sanchez. What's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck? Brian Wynn, Ronnie Jenkins. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning. Eddie Wicker, good morning. Jason Austin, Joel Lebu, David Mailer put me on. Really enjoying these. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate that. David Mailer, of course, founder of GameCoin. Good to know that he spread the good word. Appreciate you for being here. Kirk, fancy dress go this morning. Yeah, Kirk, if you ever see me in a dress shirt, slacks, I'm either going to a wedding or a funeral. And, well, I guess it's not always entirely true, but most of the time. And it is today. So we lost a co-worker earlier this week, James Gilmore. Many of you knew from his many years on the radio. James battled an aggressive form of cancer for several years. I mean, he put up a long battle, but he did pass away earlier this week. So anyway, so there's a service today in Denham Springs, and then his remains will be moved to Alabama, where he'll be buried. So where he's from Alabama. So yeah, y'all lift up James's family if if you have a moment today. Let's see, Jason Horn. Good morning, Matt. My Robin Williams. Good morning, Vietnam. Brandon Kluka. Good morning. Let's see, Kirk. Depleted offensive line, and they're horrible with their starting five. Kirk, I'll say this. It certainly wasn't good at the start of the season. But they have been playing better and probably played their best game on Saturday against Alabama. So I got a little reason to be optimistic about that unit coming together a little bit. Caleb Clark over there in Park City, Utah. Thank you, Caleb. Appreciate that. Thank you, Jason Austin. Appreciate that. Jerry DeLucky. Brian Wynn. Matt, I've been under the weather the past few days, Mr. Show. Any chance I can catch up on hearing the world-famous Hudco jingle? You know what, Brian? Who am I to disappoint fans, friends? So, without further ado.
Hudco Roofing! Hudco Roofing! When you need a roof, call someone you know. My Scone and Terrio.
All you need is Hudco.
Call Hudco Roofing.
364.
1007.
You know, I aim to please. I just aim to please. Let's jump over here to our YouTube friends. Tim Gotro, Scott Fields, what's up? Let's see. I have 4 years of eligibility left. Do I need to walk on this week? I don't think so, Tim. I'm not sure that you'd be much help, but your commitment to the success of the team is noted. Scott Fields, a lot of smoke is fire on the Riley front. You know, Scott, the funny part for me this week was the flight tracker thing. As we all saw, I think you all saw it now, you know, that the flight tracker was not anyone from LSU. Like I told you, there's no way that anyone from LSU would be so stupid as to fly to Norman, Oklahoma during a game week when Oklahoma's playing Baylor and go try to interview Lincoln Riley right under his boss's nose. It's just stupid. So it was Chris Sadler. Chris Sadler is a Baton Rouge businessman. He owned all the Cracker Barrel convenience stores, sold them a few years ago, now has like an investment group. He has a home in Norman. His one daughter graduated from there. Another daughter attends now, as I understand. And he has a home there. So he was just flying back to Baton Rouge from Norman. And people just assumed that because a flight went from Norman to Baton Rouge, that it was Scott Woodward bringing home Lincoln Riley. No. Would Scott Woodward make that call? Sure, maybe. Would Lincoln Riley be interested? Probably not. Let's see. Shane Duncan, 2 more starters. Ed Ingram, Chase, and Hines are down for this week. PTG Toasty, good morning. And Chase and Hines is done for the year. Ed Ingram, they said, could return in a week. Let's see. Jesse Brown, morning, Matt. Not sure why people are against Jimbo. I think he would do great in Baton Rouge. I agree, Jesse. I don't know if they can pry him out of College Station. And Jimbo's been pretty adamant to people in College Station that he's not leaving. We'll see. Your daily reminder that people hate Jimbo and all the dude does is win. Rapid Batches, good morning. Gulf South, good morning. Am I crazy for taking Bama not to cover 51.5 against New Mexico State? Man, I never mess with those lines. When you get a spread that big, I'm not interested. No, thank you. Spurge, what's up? I mean, could they? 100 times out of 100. But when you pull back on the reins and you intentionally try to just get a game over, don't score, I don't like to mess with that. Patrick Ramos, Scott sending Joel this morning to fix the roof. Thanks for hooking it up. You got it, Patrick. I tell you all the time, man, if you want to circumvent the entire process, I can handle it for you. Matt at HUDCOroofing.com. I will put you in touch with the people that need to get you bumped to the top, and we'll get you taken care of. Matt at HUDCOroofing.com. Brian and 80 Pinton, good morning from Syracuse, NY. OBJ can go out to LA and hang out with the washed-out left flop? I don't know, man. I really wanted him here. Apparently, RC told us Odell has a house in LA. Makes sense. Randall Alfrecht. Morning, Matt. How about the Jay Johnson #1 class in the country? Randall mentioned it yesterday. There was a scout buddy of mine who called me 2 nights ago after signing day, and said, "Hey man, LSU's got the #1 class in the country." He goes, and #2 wasn't close. I mean, raved about this class. Rapid Batches, condolences to Mr. Gilmore's family. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Huey Miller, Matt, what about that extension from Mel Tucker? Maybe I should have put that up in the headline. I'll remind you of this. Michigan State has not announced an extension. And the only singular report right now is single sourced from a radio guy in Detroit who nobody knows. This is where I often tell you, consider the source. I will remind you, not to pick on anybody, but I will remind you that about 10 years ago, after LSU beat Texas A&M in the Cotton Bowl, there was a post-game show in Baton Rouge where somebody reported that Les Miles was going to Michigan and Bo Pelini was going to be LSU's head coach. And the internet went crazy, and as we all saw, neither of those things happened. So, I mean, y'all, I tell you this all the time. There is when it comes to breaking news, there is a very long and distinct process that goes along with building credibility, building sources, checking, double checking, triple checking, quadruple checking to make sure your info is right. And people who don't do that for a living don't understand that. They don't understand the amount of legwork and years of trust and vetting that it takes to build credible sources and to be in that position to break news. The fact that no one else has touched that, not Ross Dellinger, not Brett McMurphy, not Bruce Feldman, not anyone who covers Michigan State on a daily basis. The fact that nobody else has touched that should set off a big old alarm. It's not like this guy broke it and then everyone came behind and confirmed it. You know what I mean? Nobody else has touched it. So I tell you all this all the time. You got to consider the source when you hear that information. And the internet has made everybody friggin' Dick Tracy. And it consider the source, okay? Trivia Carter, good morning. Joey Vincent, good morning. Damon Hinderberger, morning, Matt. Coming to Baton Rouge this weekend with the niece and nephew who are students at Arkansas. Looking forward to a great day of tailgating and a Tiger win. I sure hope so, Damon. Michael Mills, Mr. Woodward running this thing like a mafia. Nobody speaks. I can't take it anymore. Let's see. Sam Cosby, morning, Matt. Don't know if you addressed it, but you see the Tucker extension. I talked about that just a second ago. And it's not an extension. When can we watch baseball on TV? You should sign off Morning Scone every morning with the Hutco jingle. Let's see. Herb Street said he was going to Michigan. Right, Brian, but that was a different one. That was 2007. I'm talking 2010. Cajunomics. You really going to double down on that, get used to the idea of Mel Tucker? Yeah, you should get used to the idea of Mel Tucker because it's a very real possibility that it happens. Absolutely. But again, I'll repeat this one more time. Cajunomics. You can only hire one coach. Only one person is going to get the job, okay? Only one person is going to get the job. And everyone else who doesn't get the job doesn't mean they weren't considered or they weren't interested or anything like that. There's a lot that goes into pushing a deal across the finish line. And you better believe that everyone LSU is talking to, their current employer is going to try to keep them. If it's Mel Tucker or if it was James Franklin or if it's ultimately Jimbo or Lincoln or whoever. But, before you pick a guy, before you pick a coach, you vet a lot of them and you court a lot of them and you see who's the best fit and you go through that whole process. And they wouldn't sit for the interview if they weren't interested. They wouldn't go through the song and dance if there wasn't some interest. And I'm telling you that Mel Tucker is very high on LSU's list, and I believe if it's not Jimbo, it'll be Mel. Now, there's some people who say there's wild cards out there, and Lincoln Riley's one of them, and others that there's people have told me there's wild cards that no one's even mentioned yet. I mean, cool. Okay. Well, we'll see. Where are we? Mark Vitanovich, Joey Chestnut at Fat Boys Pizza eating contest tomorrow at 3:30 by the LSU campus for the football game. Mark, before Joey Chestnut will be at Fat Boys Pizza tomorrow at 3:30, he will be on AFR today in studio. That's right, Joey Chestnut, Nathan's famous hot dog eating champion, world eating champion, Joey Chestnut, in studio with me and Terrio today at 4:30 p.m. Central Time, promoting tomorrow's event, and then likely also eating something. We'll see. Okay, I gotta go. Kyle Acock, how much could NIL keep the baseball class intact? None at all. Zero. Literally zero. If guys are drafted high enough and they want to sign and go pro, they'll go pro. All right, I gotta go. Get Drew up, get him off to school. Y'all have an awesome day. A Locked on LSU coming up. AFR at 3. We'll see y'all then. Peace.